Hi everyone, David Bailey here, and we're back for part 2 of this exciting series on redemptions data in Alteryx. So part 1, we went through the first 4 here, which had a bunch of different formulas in it, and I also showed you all the formulas, how they work, and then I showed you how quickly this whole process runs and what the different components of it are. So part 1 was these first 4. Part 2 is going to be all of this right here, except for this blue piece right here, this purplish looking piece right here, blue, dark blue, whatever you call it. So we're going to go over all of this. So let's just zoom in on this a little bit. So let's do this, and that's what this plus and minus is right here, in case anyone hasn't used Alteryx in a while or isn't familiar with it. And so let's bring those up so you can actually see them. So the data that comes out here looks like this, right? We've already done cleared the data, cleaned it up, made it so we have month, year, week number, store number, so they're all separated and easy to use. We'd have redeem month and type of coupon. Each one is a coupon that's there. Now at this point, what we want to do is we want to have overall total sales, right? So that's very simple to do. You got a sum, and this sum is going to be of trips spent and items, just each one summed. And that gives you this right here, which is your total number of trips, spend, and items, right? Now, we don't do a count at this point, because if we did a count, that would count the people that did redeem the coupons and those that did not. We don't want to count those that did not in the total sales, because that would make that wrong. Now, total sales by month is the same 3, but we've added the redeem month, which is right here, as a group by. So if you don't know how to add these, you just click here, you click this add, and then you pick which one you want. Is it a group by? In this, and look at this. In this case, it's group by, and then you've got 3 sums. If you don't sum them correctly, or you add a count instead of a sum, it's going to make it wrong. So that gives us this, which is the total sales by month for the people, for all of the those that were touched by this coupon or given this coupon, the whole reach of this coupon. Now I left this grayed out because I don't exactly want, that's for me to compare, to look at. But what I'm really interested in is these colored boxes over here, right? So let's go here, and the first one, see this? I've got a line that comes right here, and I've got a filter. I'm saying here, I want to know who had a trip and who did not, who came in, who redeemed and who did not. So obviously if they did not, they are true. So you go in here, it's the same, it's very simple. Basic filter, trips equals 0, and if it does, it's true. If not, it's false, and they go directed to their way. So true comes in here, and it goes straight here. You can see this line right here. It goes right here, and what that tells me right there is these are the number of people that did not redeem out of that coupon, 775 of them, okay? And this is the actual, because they'd want both. People in marketing that did this campaign wouldn't want to know who do we have to reach in a different way, or who were the customers that did not respond to this, did not redeem, did not come in. So I've got both the total number, and I've got the list for them that I can easily provide them with of all the customer numbers that did not respond to this offer. So they can reach them with a different offer, or figure something out there to try and reach them differently, or whatever they want to do. Or maybe they're people that just don't respond or don't shop anymore, and they want to remove them from their list. They don't waste efforts trying to market to them. That could be too. So next we've got that. That's this light blue colored one. It gives us both the total number and the actual list of customers. Okay, and it's got all of them here, all 773 of them. Then we've got, well, what about the redeeming customers, the ones that redeemed, right? So we've got this line right here coming off of the false, because these are people that trips does not equal 0. It's, they had trip of 1, 2, 3, whatever it is. So then we look at this. This is our formula, right? And this is where they get split up into 4 different groups, right? So we want to know, were they, if they spent greater than 75, they get a 1. If they spend greater than 50, they get a 2. And if they spend less than 25, they get a 3, else 4. So they're broken into 4 different groups here, right? So if you look down here, this big yellow box right here, what we want to do is we want to see this, and this is where this cascades down in. Are they going to be a group 1, a group 2, a group 3, or a group 4? So group 1 is this little arrow right here. See that it goes, it looks like it's going here. It's not. It's going right here. So this is group 1, this is group 2, this is group 3, and this is group 4. See, I have these cascading to make them easier. And I could do them underneath each one, but instead I have them cascading. So if it's a 1, if they're the highest group, right, then they go here, greater than $75. If they're greater than $50, they go here, greater than 25, you know, and so on. And then if they're not. So, and then you can see the actual number, the redeemers by segment, and the month they redeemed. So you can see the customer number. We know there's 94 in this one. I could also put a count in there if I wanted to. I didn't, but you can also see it right here displayed. And I've got 478 that did were in the group 2. Group 3 had 472, and the remaining group 4 had 487. So that's how that splits up, and I have all the card numbers here, so I can give that to marketing and say, hey, here's the bottom 2 groups of cards. I could put them together and say, here's the people that maybe you need to target in a different manner. Next to this, we have redeemers by week number. So you click on this, and again, each of these is just customer number and redeem month. That's what I did, 2 group buys. See that? Group buy, group buy, group buy. Okay, so it's very simple to do those, and those are the filters before that. True, false, what segment are they in, and before, right prior to that, we put this formula in here to split them up. If that field spend, in this case, could have been transaction, could be items, whatever we want, but in this case we use spend. If it's greater than 75, 1, greater than 50, 2, greater than 25, 3, else 4. So you can do that. You can also put an else error if you wanted to in there, if you had a huge set of data and maybe you had some issues with some data types like we told you before, to remove that, but that's not the case here. So next we've got redeemers by week number. So let's click here. So what this does is we got trip spend, and got the count, the sum, the spend, and the items, right? But we have it led by group by week number. So that gives you this, which then ends up being, here's the week numbers broken out by week numbers, 1 through, you know, and it goes 2, 3, 4, and so on. There's the count, the sum of the trips, the sum of the spend, and the sum of the items on that trip. So we know exactly how they spent each week, which weeks were better for the coupons, which weeks were not. We have all that data here, so we can use that for forecasting. We can use that to graph and make some line graphs in Excel, whatever we want to do here. Next, we also have redeemers by month. So we did the same thing. Instead of by week, we now have redeemer month right here in the group by, and then the same thing, trips, spend, and items, count, sum, sum, sum. See how that works right there? Again, you just pick the one you want and what you need right there. And that gives us this, which gives us, let's bring this up a little bit better to show you a little bit better. You've got it broken out by month, January, February, March, the count, the sum of the trips, the sum of the spend, and the sum of the items. We also have redemptions by store. So it quickly gives us this, a breakout, same thing. Instead of having the months, we have now group by store number. And we have store number in there because it works, because we removed, remember that? It said store : space 0001. Well, now we have it broken down through that first data analysis stuff in the first video, which you need to go back and watch if you haven't watched that yet. And then you end up with this. So you can easily go and break these out by store number, which is very helpful to people. It's also helpful if you were to do this for graphing purposes and mapping. So you could take this and then get the store location and the store coordinates like latitude and longitude, and go and pop this through Power BI or R and go and map out your stores and look for clusters, look for identification of, you know, like here's a cluster where 4 stores where these did really well, and here's a cluster of 2 stores where they did really poorly. So you can look for, you know, different things to look at there and see if there's some insight you can get from that. We also had this box right here of redeeming customers with sales Q1. So we can count up the sales and see how they ended up there. Now it looks like this line is coming straight from here. So you would think, oh, that's just the higher producers. No, it's not. That goes right here. This line is very close, but it actually goes here, part of that. Okay, you want to make sure that does not come from here. If that came straight from here, you would only be counting your top segment customers of 1, which would be basically what's here. All right, now, so you have the people that didn't redeem, the breakouts of each of these, so they can marketing quickly have who the customers are, and you know how to do each of these, just play back the video and look at the different groupings I have here. Some of them are very simple and just have one or two things listed, and then you'll see how we did each of these summations. These are all these sums, so you go in here and you've got summarize right here. This is what I'm bringing down for each and every single one of these in here and all the way through. Now this one is charting. We're not going to go into that in this video, but you have all of these, and then you can go chart it in other videos and look at it and stuff. And then again, keep in mind we used a filter here, right, on trips equals 0. We also had a formula here to break them out into 4 different segments. You could break them out into 3 different segments. You could also pump in segments already established by your data science group or something like that if you needed to do that. But this is how we did this one here, and that's how we got the data. So you saw all these different colored areas, and how quickly it ran. You saw it in the last one. It runs in like 2 seconds. This whole process gives me all this data. Well, all I have to do is have the data look like this coming in, and even if it doesn't, if it's a little bit different, I can easily quickly change and modify these formulas here to make it so that it's exactly what I need, and then just run it, hit the run button right here, bam, and look, here we run it again. Look at that. In 0.9 seconds this time. That's it. Not even 1 second. I have all the data going from there, and it goes all the way through to the end. I have all my numbers filled out, and I even have redemption percentage right here, 6.30%, with a external text entry, which is right here, text input. I'm going to go over these parts, these 3 right here, and these guys right here, and this one. In the next video, we're going to go over the redemption percentage of why I did this and how I did this. Okay? Thanks for watching. Please take a moment to subscribe and like so you can see all my other great videos I have coming out, and also be sure and watch the next video. If you've not watched the first video in this series, please go back and watch that now so you know how to build this thing all the way throughout, because it's so cool. Once you've built this, it literally runs. You just have to have this set up like this. Let me minimize this down a little bit for you to see it better. And once it's built, you just put your data in and you run it. Let's bring this down a little bit here so you can see, so you can see it all. There we go. And you see it. There's the whole process right there. I just hit run. Data's in there. I put in here if it's an external data type that, or an external coupon that I've added, or another different marketing event method, whatever, reaching people to make sure I get the full total for redemption percentages. And then in the end, I have my redemption percentage and everything. So thanks again for watching. Please subscribe and like, and stay tuned for the 3rd video in this series. Thank you.